and good afternoon. This is Close the Gap podcast, and I'm Beth Kelly, your host. This is July 4th, Independence Day. And I want to ask you, what does independence mean to you? By definition, it's a noun, and it's the fact or state of being independent. Other definitions say that it's freedom from the control, influence, support, aid, or the like of others. Another definition says it's self-reliance, self-support, self-sustenance, and self-sufficiency. Another says the time when a country or region gains political freedom from outside control. Independence is a condition of a person, nation, country, or state in which its residents and population, or some portion thereof, exercise self-government and usually sovereignty over the territory. As Americans, we have to have an insatiable need for individual independence in all we do, from the time we teach our children to walk, talk, and think for themselves. We believe in the American dream for the free gifts to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, free from the constraints of government rule or other entities whose sole mission is to dominate, control, and enslave our minds of every God-fearing American. My belief is this. I have 3 points here. Number one, we must never forget the sacrifice our forefathers, brothers and sisters fought for our freedoms. Number two, we must have faith that God will bring us through this as well. Without faith, we are all spiritually dead, which gives the enemy power and authority to rule over us. We cannot and must not let this happen. And number three, if we are unified in our faith, this plot against us will not prevail. In Galatians 5:1, it says, "So Christ has truly set us free. Now make sure you stay free and don't get tied up again in slavery to the law." In Hebrews 11:1, it says, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen." As we have grown from childhood, once accepting foolishness in childish ways, in order to save ourselves, we must put away childish foolishness. In 1 Corinthians 13:11, it says, "When I was a child, I talked as a child, I thought as a child. I reasoned like a child, and when I became a man or woman, I did away with childish things." In our search for our own independence, some have lost their way, giving up inalienable rights. At first, it was small things. Changes now we are threatened with, taking away our ability to protect ourselves. Maybe it's through gun control. All the while, the controller's saying it's for the greater good. Then the threat of death by unknown viruses. Let's review a few. How's H1N1, swine flu, Ebola, HIV/AIDS, coronaviruses, rotavirus, novel corona, COVID-19. These controllers, by the way, want to make vaccines mandatory. I still have the right to choose what is best for me and my life. But you see, being fooled or misled intentionally has given rise to each of us losing our very own rights. That makes America the greatest nation on earth. We unknowingly gave our rights away. If we continue down this path, we're no longer free, but slaves to the establishment. So I ask you again, what makes us an independent nation? What makes us a free nation? Freedom is defined as the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Another definition says it's the absence of subjection to foreign domination or despotic government. Here's another one. The state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. This may very well be our last 4th of July, where all Americans can have their flags billowing in the wind freely. This may be the last fireworks display to celebrate our freedoms fought and paid for by the blood of our ancestors. This is the fight of our lifetime. So fight back. Do not sit idly by and let the communists parading as socialists fool you into a false peace. For God's sakes, fight for your country. Fight for your family. Fight for your children. Fight for your grandchildren. Fight for your freedom and fight for your independence. May God bless you. May God bless this nation. May God bless our families. And God bless America.